This is OwlUp, where learning happens in minutes, not hours. For a deeper journey, explore all our courses at owlup.co. Now, let's dive in. Welcome back to Chapter 4 of The Anatomy of Leadership. In this episode, titled Communication as a Leadership Tool, we'll explore how effective communication can be a game changer for your success as a leader. Get ready to discover practical tips and insights that will help you connect better with your team and elevate your leadership skills. Let's dive in. Only about a quarter of employees worldwide feel truly engaged at work. Yet most companies already have a vision, a strategy, and plenty of meetings. So here's the puzzle. If the ideas are there, why do so many teams feel disconnected the moment the leader starts talking? Leaders often assume communication is about transmitting information. Here are the goals, here's the plan, here's the deadline. But across dozens of studies, the leaders who actually move people don't just pass along updates, they shape how others experience the work. The same message can land as noise or as meaning. The difference lies in three things: how clearly you frame direction, how consistently you connect people to one another, and how intentionally you manage the emotional temperature of the room. That matters even more now when a growing share of collaboration happens through screens, chat windows, and asynchronous updates. In that environment, every word, pause, and channel choice either sharpens or blurs what people think is most important, and how much of themselves they're willing to bring to it. In practice, this means your role shifts from person who knows the answers to person who shapes the conversation. Research on high-performing teams shows they have leaders who don't just talk at people, but constantly translate between executives and frontline, between long-term bets and this quarter's trade-offs, between what's said in public and what's whispered in side chats. Think less town hall speech, more ongoing series of short, intentional signals across email, Slack, video, and in person that keep pulling attention back to what truly matters and why it's worth the effort. The leaders who do this well treat every interaction as doing one of three jobs: making meaning, reducing noise, or creating momentum. When they speak, they're not trying to sound smart. They're trying to make it easier for people to decide, prioritize, and act. 1. Making meaning, turning tasks into a story. Research on resilient organizations shows that people endure pressure better when they can place their work inside a coherent narrative. That's why McKinsey finds a clear change story tied to outperformance. Stories compress complexity into something the brain can remember and repeat. When Satya Nadella took over at Microsoft, he didn't start with product roadmaps. He repeated a simple storyline: mobile first, cloud first, and a growth mindset culture, until people could finish the sentences for him. Your version doesn't need to be poetic, but it does need to be portable enough that others can retell it without you in the room. 2. Reducing noise, choosing how and where to say it. Most leaders underestimate how much misalignment comes from channel confusion. Critical priorities buried in chat threads, nuanced feedback sent as a one-line text, emotionally charged topics handled in status meetings. Morabian's work on tone and body language isn't a license to obsess over posture. It's a reminder that some messages demand richer signals. Saying, "This change will be hard, and I'm here with you," lands very differently when people can see your face, hear your pauses, and ask questions in real time. The medium teaches people how seriously to take the message. 3. Creating momentum, using emotion as a resource. Gallup's engagement data isn't just about happiness, it's about energy. Leaders who link day-to-day work to a larger mission see lower turnover, partly because they're replenishing that energy instead of only withdrawing it. This doesn't require cheerleading. It looks like naming the tension in the room, celebrating specific progress, and being explicit about what's at stake for customers, not just KPIs. In this sense, your calendar becomes a strategic instrument. One conversation sets the direction, the next strips away ambiguity, the next injects courage. Over time, the pattern of your words becomes the culture's default playlist, what people hear in their heads when you're not there. Instead of a grand speech, think about a routine Monday stand-up. One product lead starts with 3 priorities: ship feature X, fix outage Y, hit target Z. People nod, open laptops, and mentally check out. Another starts with, this week we're stress testing how fast we can learn. By Friday, I want 3 real customer reactions to this prototype. Names, not numbers. Same time slot, but now engineers see where to focus, designers know whom to talk to, and ops understands why speed matters more than polish. Or take a team that's just been through a reorg. A VP can recite the org chart and timelines, then wonder why rumors explode. A different VP walks through 3 decisions they won't change this quarter, invites the toughest questions first, and ends by asking each manager to share one risk they're worried about. People leave not with certainty, but with a sense that their concerns are part of the official story, not a side channel. Gallup's 23% engagement figure hints at a coming divide. Leaders who treat communication as a design problem versus those who treat it as housekeeping. As AI tools surface live sentiment, your leadership signal will be as trackable as a marketing funnel. That transparency cuts both ways. Consistency between message and behavior will function like compound interest. Small mismatches quietly erode trust. Small alignments, repeated, create reputational capital you can draw on in a crisis. Your leadership edge will come from treating every message as a prototype. Test it, watch how people respond, then refine. Like tuning a recipe, a small tweak, one clearer why, one better timed question, can change the whole flavor of a project. Over time, this deliberate iteration turns routine updates into signals people actively seek out. Here's your challenge this week. In your next 3 team interactions, 1 email, 1 one-to-one, and 1 meeting, deliberately use the leader's communication loop from the episode. State the intention, share the context, say the message in 1 clear sentence, and then ask 1 clarifying question. What are you hearing in this? After each interaction, score yourself from 1 to 5 on clarity, brevity, and alignment with your leadership vision, just like the host suggested. By Friday, pick the lowest scoring of those 3 and rewrite that exact message using the episode's tips on stripping out filler, softening defensiveness, and ending with a concrete next step. Then send the improved version to the same audience. This was OwlUp, your daily step forward. This series continues with more chapters on OwlUp.co. Visit OwlUp.co to access the complete course and continue your learning journey. See you there!